Shalom. I hope all is well with y'all. Let's get right into it. So, jail is a form of life preservation. And I know that some of y'all who may hear that, I may sound policed out. I may sound odd when I say that. But there'll be a decent amount of you who will definitely know and understand where I'm about to go with this message. So, life preservation is the act of maintaining or extending someone's life, often encompassing actions to protect against harm or injury. I'm sorry if I'm a little low right now. Baby girl is asleep and I'm not trying to wake this little girl up, okay? So cut me up if you have to. Before I really get into it, I want to put this out here. I never been locked up in my life, okay? I never been locked up, but I was in the military, and from what I heard, the incarceration and military have so many similarities, literally so many similarities, even down to the mental effects of both. You see what I'm saying? The PTSD, the anxiety, the rage, the warfare, a lot of it sounds similar. So I'ma tie this in like the beginning part of what I know, what I feel, or what I felt, and what others told me as well, and what I've analyzed. Okay, so yeah, even down to it's a lot of similarities, but let's talk about the lack of privilege, the lack of privacy, showering, not being able to eat what you want to eat, just different stuff, no freedom. You can't do what it is that you want to do. And let's keep it real, it be some unruly authority, especially when certain people who have certain heart postures and they're not good. These people will get in places of authority to inflict others. That's the worst kind of authority, when someone have a hard heart, and have many little evil spirits attached to them or whatever, and they're in authority, especially over people. You see what I'm saying? Like, it'd be a lot of unruly authority. So that means people gonna be yelling at you, and you can be well older than these people, or have more experience than these people, or whatever the case may be. But it'll be somebody in authority. They'll be yelling at you, disrespecting you, talking to you crazy, all kind of stuff. So it's a lot of similarities with those two, whatever. And just by that insight that I do have, and just 100%, let's put this out here. What the Most High placed on my heart to talk about, that's another thing. This is a topic that the Most High has placed on my heart to talk about. So I have a little similarities and understanding to it, though I haven't been through it. Okay, so moving on. Life preservation. Jail is a form of life preservation. Not only life preservation, but as a lesson learned. And it still ties in with life preservation, because these are lessons that we must learn in this life that will also help us no matter what it is. Even if somebody, have to sit down for a few days over a small offense or something like that, it's about learning a lesson behind it. And I'm not gonna go into how people are, how they get locked up and they've done nothing wrong. I'm not talking about that right now. I'm coming from a specific angle when I say this, and I'm talking about life preservation. And I just wanted to add and include how it's also a form of learning lessons as well. So with incarceration, once someone gets incarcerated, that's when a lot of reality, and sometimes people don't live in reality. They can only get a certain amount of reality, and then it becomes limited, due to them not holding themselves accountable, victim blaming and blaming everyone else, and all these other things due to emotional, whether they're arrested in their development or not. That plays a factor, like that play a part. perception, all that. So it's many different reasons as to how much of reality the person who gets incarcerated, how much of reality they're gonna become aware to, or yeah. So, but the reality, a lot of the reality is, which is something they can't shake, is one of the first things that one of the first not saying that it is, because I don't know, but one of the first is they'll start to realize that people aren't who they aren't who they say they are. So out of sight, out of mind is a real thing, straight up. Out of sight, out of mind is a real thing. You can be with somebody today, y'all doing what y'all do, kicking it, whatever the case may be. These people making promises, you making promises to them, someone making promises to this person, this, and that. And next thing you know, if something happens to a specific person where they're no longer available, they can't do the things that's benefiting other people, then reality end up setting in. And let's keep it real, life goes on, but at the same time, it's a form of disloyalty. It's definitely disloyal when somebody get put in a tough place, in a hard place. What in reality, this person may need all the support that they can get, but then people abandon you, people leave you dry. And yeah, like a lot of disloyalty there. And then sometimes it be people who these individuals were running with, even down to the people who committed these things with the person. It be getting down to that, all of that. Just people who, and even people who these people would be with day to day, family members, whatever the case may be, whatever angle. This is the part where people really start to see how a lot of people really be in a way. A lot of people are distractions. A lot of people aren't who they say they are. Versus when someone is in a world and you moving around doing what you do, you have your freedom. Sometimes it'd be hard for certain people to understand and grasp that. Sometimes it'd be hard for people to really see and notice, like, these people in a way, and these people throwing me off track, and these people coming around and taking whatever it is that is available to them, and all that, taking advantage of the kind heart, or take advantage of whatever the case may be. So that those one of the things how the individual coming to like they'll end up realizing and noticing, like, man, people ain't picking up the phone, they ain't who they say they are, ain't nobody visiting me, ain't nobody writing me, and things of that sort. Meaning when tough times come, and I talked about this before, when tough times come, because look, we all human, and tough times will come upon us. I don't care what may be going on. If you in a high point of your life, we all have times where we low. We all have these times. No matter how much money you have, no matter how spiritually aware you are and tapped into the Most High, these times will come. And so when somebody dipping off on you and abandoning you at your worst, that says a lot. That let you know a lot. You feel me? So that's one of the things, is one of the realities they face. Another one is less distractions. So all these vices that be out here that we can use to escape, ain't none of that. I mean, let's keep it real. Sometimes a lot of times they do be having that. They be having that in jail and all that. They be having all that stuff. You feel me? They do. Contraband, all that. Y'all know. they be having it. They be having it. But let's keep it real. Like, I'm talking about out in the open, when people can do stuff out in the open. You ain't got to worry about that tiptoe or whatever it is you're going to do. Whatever these people going to do, they going to just do it. But again, yes, less distraction. So again, the vices, they can't run and do this and run and do that. They can't smoke. They can't drink. They can't, they can't have sex. Again, y'all know, like, some stuff I say that they can do while they in there, depending on what angle they coming from. Let's keep it real. But anyway, like the drugs, the alcohol, the sex, watching certain things, doing certain things, shopping, just all this different stuff, just all these different vices and tools that people use, that can be a form of distraction. If not, yeah. So that's tie in, and sorry if I'm everywhere, y'all. If you aren't new here, you already know I could be here or there. But yeah, that the less distractions tie into number one. You know how people can be distractions and all that, all these vices, all these different things, the worries of this life, even down to working a lot and just all this different stuff. Like, it don't always have to be negative, but again, it could be a form of distraction, meaning not understanding the purpose, not understanding why someone is here, not, tapped in, not tapped into the Most High, not tapped into themselves, just distractions, that keep them from really knowing themselves and analyzing themselves and knowing what's going on in their environment. Another reality is accountability. Now, again, this is a part where certain people gon' hold themselves accountable, and then certain people aren't. And then this is where, the whole thing with people understanding so they won't make the same mistakes, it come into play. Because someone who holds themselves accountable and they know, like, man, I did do this, I did do that, and they start playing out what they did in their mind, and they're like, yeah, like they gotta deal with that and, change or whatever the case may be on their end, versus someone who they looking at like, dang, I should never, had I not did it like this. Like, they have this mindset like, I got caught, meaning they not understanding like why they, like they not understanding, they aren't understanding like, okay, this was wrong, this and that. Or if it's other people involved, if it's victims involved, if it's, stuff like that, like, man, I did this and that was wrong, and this and that, versus somebody who, man, I should have just moved like that, and had I would have moved like that, and had this and that would have moved like that, then this and that, and just looking at it the whole wrong way and not holding oneself accountable. And that's how people be getting put back in them same situations. That's how they be getting put back into the same situation. Another reality that many come into, it happened with many, is the spiritual awakening, the spiritual awareness. And it can go either or. There's many different beliefs people will, cling on to. Sometimes these people, the seed was already planted in their life, and they weren't watering enough. So some of them may have beliefs already. And I'm going to use the Most High for example, because yes, I'm a woman of God, okay? So let's say the seed was planted, mama, grandma, dad, or whatever planted the seed within a person, and they knew God and they know God real. They done seen time and time again throughout their life, like, okay, yeah, that had to been God, because it could have went elsewhere. But the person started going down the wrong path or whatever, due to possibly, again, I talk about this a lot, due to possibly open doors from generations before them, especially if it's constant cycles of the same thing or whatever. So now they falling downhill due to their own sin, due to their own mistakes. You see what I'm saying? Peer pressure, whatever the case may be, different angles or whatever. So let's say the seed was already planted, but the person started going, other ways. And, all praise to the Most High, because He'll allow us to go, like, what the enemy meant for bad, the Most High turn it into good. And the Most High already know. He already be knowing the things that we gonna go through in this life. Like, He already know the things that we will end up getting into. But at the end of the day, for those who come back to Him, even after all of that, it just shows how He worked. Like, I don't even have the words. Like, the Most High, all praises to the Most High. Get yourself in trouble, and even though you go through them trials and tribulations, and you got yourself in trouble and punishment and stuff like that, chastisement and all that different stuff, when you go through all that, the Most High He still be with you, man. He still be with you. So back to what I was saying. Okay, so they going down this wrong path or whatever, and sometimes it takes for people to get locked up I didn't heard about it and I done read about people literally getting saved within, jail, incarceration, being incarcerated. Like their whole life changed being incarcerated. And then you have many people who say it was meant to happen. It was meant to happen. And then you have other religions, well, I won't say, well, I say religions and beliefs. I'm not coming from an angle. Once again, I'm not coming from an angle of religion. I'm not with none of that. I'm a woman of God, and I believe in Christ, and I'm a follower of Christ. I'm not attached to no name. I'm a follower of Christ. But people end up connecting to other sources and other things and other beliefs. And these beliefs, and people need to like do their research about these things that they're coming into agreement with, because specifically I know, and even down to the men in my family and those who I do know, a lot of them, they end up, they're Muslim, because from what I know, from what I heard, that's like many people call it a jail religion. Like people go in jail and then they end up connecting to something else, because let's keep it real, we're spiritual beings having a physical experience. And it's like when people get, and I'm moving ahead of myself, I am moving ahead of myself, but I'm gonna include this, and I may have to go back and touch base on it once I get to the point. But we're spiritual beings having a physical experience. And so us as people, we have to cling to something. Especially, it's just like this need to cling on to something. It's this need to look to a force and something greater. Because I ain't gonna lie, like when people when it's like when you put in a place where you don't have no control over many things, and you see all this different spiritual stuff and all that, that's gonna make somebody cling to the Most High, or cling on to whatever they're trying to find something, they're trying to get some type of understanding to life. Like they're trying to find something to keep them from not going insane. So the people who are incarcerated, whatever, they need to cling on to something. They trying to find something, trying to find a sense of purpose. And if not careful, they'll end up getting connected to another belief, which is going to keep them in more bondage, because it's considered to the Most High idolatry, worshiping other gods. And that is part of the commandments. You shall not worship. You shall not put anything before God. You should not idolize. You should not do that. You see what I'm saying? And so this puts someone deeper into bondage. And not only that, agreement. So the Most High had me look up what agreement truly mean spiritually and biblically. And it blew my mind. Like it was different meanings to it. But what blew my mind was how it said agreement means to be of the same mind, of the same understanding. So it blew me back, because a whole bunch of revelation started flowing through, and I'm like, wait, of the same mind, of the same understanding. So meaning whatever it is that someone come into agreement with, they literally become of that same mind and same understanding, so much so that, and hopefully I'm talking so much, hopefully I won't forget where I'm at. But so much so, let's say you have a certain understanding, right? And you above, okay, let's say you above a certain understanding, right? And you know this and you know that. But if you come into agreement with something that's less than your understanding or whatever, of what you knew or what you've learned and what you already know, you come into agreement with somebody, or come into agreement with a thing, or whatever the case may be, you come into agreement with that thing, then your understanding, and I watched this happen in my own life, how I know something, then I connect to the wrong people or wrong thing, and then it'll bring me down to that level of understanding. You see what I'm saying? So agreement plays a huge part. So the person will come of the same mind, of the same understanding. So if someone is connected to a belief that is truly not edifying, it's truly not the right way to go, but it leads someone down into like more bondage or whatever, then at the end of the day, it's deeper bondage and deeper confusion, and they come into agreement with all these other wicked spirits and all these other evil wicked mindsets of whatever god that they're worshiping. And this talks about let me see, it talks about that in Psalm 115, and it talks about how they have eyes but they see not, ears but they hear not, and just different things like that. Like if you come into agreement with other beliefs and idols and all this other type of stuff, it will literally bring these people into that very mind of understanding. Okay. So yeah, I say all that to say spiritually, people gonna try to cling on and find something, because again, like we're spiritual beings. You know, we're spiritual beings. There's three components to man. You know, the spirit, the soul, and the body. Three components. So after this, and when it's all said and done, we go somewhere. We go somewhere. And so it's like when people get incarcerated and when they get into these situations, they start to see like, look, I'm going to end up losing my mind, or I need to find a sense of purpose. And that's how a lot of people end up. Either they're going to cling to the Most High, or they're going to end up clinging to other beliefs. So yeah, that is another part of reality. Let's talk about the spiritual side of incarceration. So whether it's you, whether it's someone that you know, or you see it all the time, you come from an environment where this happen all the time, like, yeah, let's say you know someone, or you know someone, whatever the case may be, they in and out of incarceration. This is an indicator of spiritual bondage. So whatever it is that you see physically, just know that spiritually, it's an agreement somewhere, or it was already done in the spirit before it was done in the physical. And that's how, people be like, oh, I had a dream, this happened, this and that, and then it end up playing out, the things of that sort. Or because dreams be having symbols and they don't always tell you like exactly what's gonna happen, like down to a T or whatever, but it's symbolism and stuff like that. That's the best example that I can give you for right now. As far as that, like whatever's going on physically is because it's a representative of what's going on spiritually. What's taking place spiritually. Somebody dealing with mental issues and dealing with sickness in their body and all of that, that means it's a covenant, it's an agreement, it's an attack. That's what it means. So repeated incarceration, if you're looking at it physically, it is a form of a physical form of spiritual bondage. So that's what it is. Repeated incarceration is a physical form. It's just a physical form of spiritual bondage. Meaning there's some agreements in place. Spiritually, there's some agreements in place that is keeping this person or people or family, whatever the case may be, it is some agreements in place that is keeping this person in bondage. Meaning this person will not be able to prosper in life. They will keep going through this same cycle over and over and over and over. No matter how many times somebody say, okay, I'm going to stay out of trouble, I'm going to not do this, I'm going to not do that, it always finds its way. And there's a such thing as spiritual embargo. So a spiritual embargo is a hindrance or restriction placed upon a person's life, hindering their progress, opportunities, or blessings. It's often associated with supernatural or demonic forces and can be seen as a barrier to personal growth, destiny, and fulfillment. It's a form of limitation, it's a blockage, it's a restriction that prevents someone from moving forward in life. So also this, it's safe to say that this plays a huge part in arrested development. And also when someone is incarcerated time and time again, they become institutionalized within their mind, within their thinking. You see what I'm saying? Like, it brings them, because again, this brings us back to agreement. This brings them into a form of the agreement with the institution. You see what I'm saying? Because there is a spiritual bondage, because there's a spiritual embargo going on. You feel me? So when you see these things, if it's in your life or if it's someone around you, whatever the case may be, this is what's going on. And you cannot do things okay, so how can I say this? You can't just operate out your own strength, or this person can't operate off their own strength and think that they just gonna break away from it. This is literally a covenant in place. This is literally an agreement in the spirit realm. And the spirits, look, as far as the spirit realm, again, it goes hand in hand with the physical. So ain't no beating that. So it must be broken, and the only way it can be broken is through the Most High. Okay. Okay, this brings us back to when I was talking about the sense of belonging. Again, this is a turning point for many, and they end up clinging on to a belief system in order to keep sane, to connect spiritually, for guidance, a sense of belonging, and more. So this is a chance for people to either connect to the Most High and really see that the Most High is who He say He is, and this is needed. Because look, it's either two things with certain actions that people do, and it's biblical. And it's biblical. And again, we aren't talking about people who they're incarcerated and they didn't do anything wrong or falsely, all that. Like, we're not talking about none of that, but we're talking about people who actually they're guilty of whatever it is that they've done. Many times, depending on what it is, because sometimes you have people locked up for, whether it's child support or whether it's DUIs and just different stuff, tickets, like it be different stuff. Again, not only the Most High know, but with certain things, it's like it's a lesson that someone needs to learn in life. But I say that to say there's certain things that end up like it's either jail or it's the grave. You see what I'm saying? It's either jail or it's the grave. And so if the Most High allows someone to go to jail, no matter how long it is, or that he allowed them to be incarcerated no matter how long it is, or whatever the case may be, they still have a chance to right their wrongs, whether that person have a chance of getting out or not. It's about trying to prevent and come out of agreement with stuff that may take them somewhere after this life is over. You see what I'm saying? It's trying to take them and claim their soul. That's what it's about. And sometimes they have to take people completely out of take people completely out of have to take people completely out of the world. Like, have to actually take that part of their freedom away because they did these things, and they have to learn from it. Now, some people, they learn from it and got their sentences reduced and just different stuff like that. And then some people will never learn, meaning the people who connect to different beliefs, people who don't hold themselves accountable, people who trying to look at it as if it's a good thing that they locked up, an image, whatever the case may be. People who are like that and they don't want to change, and they connected to different stuff and different sources, then it end up turning out another way. But yeah, sorry, I had to pause. Oh, I'm sorry. I had to pause. And I forgot where I left off at. So, please bear with me. Let me slide on that. Because I had to pause. But moving on. So the Most High, He gave me this, and it says, incarceration is an institution based on bondage, judgment, vindication, and life preservation. There's other ones, but these specific ones stood out. And this go hand in hand. And when I was just talking about the turning point for many, when they end up clinging to when they end up trying to seek a spiritual source, when they end up, for some, they try to seek the Most High and they end up finding the Most High, and then others, they end up clinging on to other beliefs. But again, I'm gonna repeat this. It says incarceration is an institution based on bondage, judgment, vindication, and life preservation. And again, there's others, but this is what the Most High had me write down. And so let's keep it real. Let's keep it a buck. Even my cousin, he locked up right now. And he been locked up. I'm 27. The last time I seen him was when I was 17. He got locked up when I was 17. And my cousin is in his early 30s. And he told me, he was like, man, these spirits in here is so wicked in here. Like, it's so wicked in here. But my cousin, he holding it down, and he clinging on, and he's staying sane. I'm not gonna lie, yes, my cousin, he's a Muslim. Me, as his cousin, I'm praying for him, because I can see, and I even told him, like, I know it may not sound the best to you right now, but cousin, this is a form of life preservation for you. I had to include that when I wrote him, because I'm just like, man, knowing how my cousin is and how he get down, man, it could have went a whole other way. And now he's in and he doing so much. He's drawing, he's selling pictures, he's doing cryptocurrency, he doing so much in there. Not only that, he advocating for men who have been falsely prosecuted and stuff like that. So he really doing his thing, and now he in school, all that. Like, he making the best of it, versus when he was out here and he was in Minnesota. When he out there in Minnesota doing all kind of, just doing all, man, I'm trying to tell you, a hothead and all that. But now talking to him and stuff like that, he matured so much. And I know, and I see with my eyes and in my heart, I know that the Most High was protecting my cousin from something. And I've been praying. I'm going to say this. I just been praying that he connect for real, because as he connect for real to the Most High, he will actually see his true purpose. But it's deep. I want to share more about that, but I don't want to get too much off topic. But I'm being led by the Holy Spirit. I'm just being guided. So I say all that to say, like, he know that we be praying for him. He know that I'm praying for him and stuff like that. He know that, and he don't disrespect my beliefs and stuff like that. And he know, like, I don't believe that. He know stuff like that. And he know my other family members who believe in Christ. Like, we don't believe in all that, but we respect them. We love them. And just praying that, because once he connect to the Most High, it's like, and when these people connect to the Most High, they gonna really see it in a different light even more. But the Most High will allow this for some time. And I know my cousin, I've been feeling it like more and more when I pray. I know my cousin's not gonna have to serve that full long sentence. I know he not. I have faith in my heart, and every time I say it, and every time when I pray about it, I feel, and I know in my heart that he will be released. And I know part of his release is by him connected to the Most High and truly coming into, because it's like when you connect to the Most High, that's when the true repentance come in. You see what I'm saying? Like, if these people aren't connected to the Most High and they doing these things or whatever, it's only a matter of time how certain things will happen. They have to have a heart to not want to ever do it again. They have to have a heart to come out of agreement with whatever it is that caused them to be incarcerated within the first place. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just a lot. And so I say all that to say it's about truly connecting to the Most High. And I say all of that to say, he said that it's so wicked in there. And knowing how he is, like, look, I say all that to say, there's always someone bigger and badder in jail. Remember when I just said it? bondage, judgment, vindication, and life preservation. It's always someone bigger and badder in jail. We are not fighting against flesh and blood. Let me read to y'all right quick Ephesians chapter 6 and 12, and I'm gonna bring this point to you. Ephesians chapter, okay. It says, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of the evil in heavenly realms." So, again, incarceration is full of, it's so many evil, wicked forces. It's so many, like, some people may be in there for this, but then it's always gonna be somebody in there who in there for this, that, and they got all this stuff connected to them. Meaning, when someone is incarcerated, them forces and them spirits and them, all of them forces that them people are battling with, being in there, and not only that, this is their environment. This is these people' environment for either forever or for some time. And by them being around this much evil, now this will open up certain people's eyes. Certain people, they'll be looking like, man, this is wicked, like this is evil, and they need to connect to a source in order to keep sane and not, you feel me? There's always gonna be somebody bigger and badder. Them forces in jail, like, I'm always talking about spiritual stuff, but this is true though. Again, I'm gonna say it again. What you see in the physical is a form of what's going on spiritually. So these are evil, wicked powers and spirits, territorial spirits and principalities. All of these evil, wicked things within one setting, within the setting of, the whole system. The jail system, within that whole building, the few whatever the case may be, but within that whole building that these people are battling against. They are around these evil, wicked forces. And let's keep it real, these forces be having different rank. It's different. How you say hierarchy? Do not laugh at me. Hierarchy. You know what I'm trying to say. But it's different ranks and all that there. Somebody who may been up in there for this one thing, but they end up, it's so many different ranks and spirits up in there. They in there for this one thing, and they know how to fight. So they just like, yeah, this and that. But they come across somebody who soul is completely gone. That person who may did this, they still got their soul. Like, they still, they a lost soul. They may be a lost soul or a damaged soul, but they still, intact with it. Versus somebody in there who literally body is filled with legions of demons. Like, this person not even, like, their soul is completely gone. They coming into contact with a lot of evil, wicked forces. People who heartless, people who, you feel me? And this is a physical form. Incarceration, that environment, I should say, is a form of how it is when, how it is in, eternal damnation, where them evil, wicked spirits are bound up and just different stuff like that. That's how deep it is. That's how deep it is. So again, I'm gonna repeat this again because it's just so, man. Incarceration is an institution based on bondage, judgment, vindication, and life preservation. Judgment, punishment for the things that people have done, things that the spirits within these people have done. You see what I'm saying? And not only that, and oh, I feel it. Not only is it the person being done and punished, it's the forces that's within them. Because these forces wanted to cause havoc and do certain things in the world and do all that. And then not only that, it, and that's why certain people who incarcerated, and many people who incarcerated, they end up like, them forces within them will really cause them to just, lose it, because them forces want to carry out what they want to carry out. And so vindication, meaning, it's people who who have been vindicated by, certain people being incarcerated. They have been vindicated through that. And life preservation, repentance, learning from one's mistakes, protection from one's decision making and emotions, and etc. The spiritual awakening. So that's the part of the life preservation, and it's more. But the life preservation, how many times have, and I'm gonna bring, and I got this last part, and I'm gonna talk about this too. How many times have either you or somebody like you've seen it, and it happens a lot out here in Chicago, where people like, man, they should have just stayed. They should just stay locked up. If when they get out, something gonna happen to them. You see what I'm saying? Like, they should have just, thing was, the person came back out, same mindset, same, moving the exact same, go back into the same environments where people already showed you, look, you get put in a certain situation, look, I ain't here for you, but I'm here when you here, I'm here when it's beneficial, but all that other stuff, look, life go on. And then use the excuses, life go on, as to why they couldn't pick the phone up, as to why they couldn't write, as to why this and that. Like, it's crazy. But okay, let's talk about, this is the final part. Let's talk about the bail process, right? Okay, since jail is a form of life preservation or a lesson, let me use a common scenario of what happens when someone tries to skip or prematurely leave this form of life preservation. So, again, like I say, in Chicago, it's so, man, I done heard a few stories about this. About how someone, they get locked up, and it's possible that they can, they can bond out, right? It's possible they can bond out. Some of these people, they, the few times that I heard about it, it's people who, they hands tied into different stuff, or they people hands tied into different stuff, and it's not legal. You see what I'm saying? It's illegal, whether it's, selling drugs, whether it's murder for hire, whether it's scamming, whether it's whatever the case may be, just different stuff that's illegal. And so let's talk about this right quick. Illegal money, and money that is gained by unjust, like money that's gained is unjustly a word? Bear with me. But money that's gained incorrectly, like money that's gained, which is from the kingdom of darkness, money that's gained in a specific way, that is not of the Most High, like didn't work with your hands, and it ain't knocking nobody over the head and all that, but it's so basically, unjust gain is cursed. That money is cursed, right? And 3 things can happen from that. The person lose everything, the person get locked up, or 6 feet under. So let me read to you. I'm sorry, I'm trying to unlock my phone. Let me read to you a few Proverbs, right? So this Proverbs chapter 15 verse 27. This is the ESV version. It says, whoever is greedy for unjust gain troubles his own household, but he who hates bribes will live. Proverbs 1:19. Such are the ways of everyone who is greedy for unjust gain. It takes away the life of its possessors. So, and it's time and time again, it's all throughout that word though, and it's heavy in Proverbs. But basically, somebody making money a specific way is cursed. That money is cursed. That money is cursed. And so it be times where this money, and so many times this money will literally lead people into the grave. It literally lead people into the grave time and time again. The unjust money, and doing things a certain way, because like, not only is it affecting that person, it's affecting society, it's affecting other people. You can't get away with it. You can't get away with stuff like that. You feel me? You can't get away with doing that. So I say that to say, Okay, it's been a few times I heard about it that people they locked up or whatever. Okay, and possibly they can get a bond or whatever. They get a bond or whatever. And so there's been times where they end up bonding out prematurely. Like they end up bonding out. Like, okay, let's keep it real. Somebody get locked up, and if the money there, and they can get bonded out, ain't nobody trying to stay in jail. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it real. Like, let's keep it a buck. Ain't nobody trying to stay in jail if the funds there and it's possible for them to get up out of there. Don't nobody want to stay there. But what these people don't know is the spiritual effects, and they be thinking that they getting away with something, and they truly aren't. Like, it's a trick of the enemy, because let's keep it real. I'm sorry if I'm everywhere, but let's keep it real. So this how the enemy work. Time and time again, we as people, we'll see what happens when somebody do this X, Y, Z, right? And then it's been times where even myself, like, okay, I see and I know what come with this, or it's like I see and I know, but I'm oblivious to it. It's like I see, I know, but it ain't gonna happen to me. I ain't even really thinking about if it happens to me, because it ain't gonna happen to me type stuff. You see what I'm saying? And that's how it is. Like, that's the trick of the enemy. People seeing it be all around them. Like, it'll always be an example around you. It'll always be an example around you of what happens with destruction, because we live in a world where this world is full of destruction. You see what I'm saying? We living in a perishing world. We living around this stuff day to day. So it's going to always be a million examples of what not to do. And so, be the trick of the enemy. People end up falling into these things and end up doing these things that'll get them put and placed in this, in this environment. So I say all that to say, these people don't know, and they think that they getting over. This life is spiritual, and people be thinking that they're getting over. You see what I'm saying? Like they beating the odds, or they beat that case, or this and that happened. But let's keep it real. It is some wicked judges out here too. Not only is it wicked judges out here, it's judges who lost, who don't really get a full sentence. And yeah, like, many times it's not of God and he approve of it. And sometimes it do be God. So let's keep it real, but let's put this out here. The God, I said the God. Look, the Most High is in control of all of it. He allows what he allows, and he stops and he blocks whatever is not allowed. So yeah, so I say all that to say that these people be thinking they're getting over, and it talks about this in Ecclesiastes. I'm gonna pull it up for you before I finish, but it talks about this in Ecclesiastes about how like punishment don't come right away, or stuff don't come right away. So people be thinking that, okay, it says Ecclesiastes 8:11, because the sentence against an evil deed is not executed speedily, the heart of the children of man is fully set to do evil. So because it ain't happened to them right away, people be thinking, oh yeah, I didn't got over, I didn't got up out of there, and this and that, as if they beat it and they beat the system. But it's something that awaits them if they don't change, and they're making their own snare for their feet. You see what I'm saying? So I say all that to say, okay, the money is cursed. Let's say they're using dirty money, and I'm using this specifically because the Most High wanted me to talk about this. Dirty money, unclean money, unjust money. Okay, that money cursed. Boom. The person who okay, they incarcerated, they did wrong, like 100% they're wrong, and a bond come. But the reason why they were incarcerated was to prevent from them losing their life, because the things that they may have done, it's either this or it's either that. It's either incarceration or it's either the grave. But these people don't know this spiritually, y'all. So they thinking, okay, boom, I'm getting over. So what they do is, the dirty money, because it's cursed, and the enemy like, oh yeah, I'm killing two birds with one stone with this. That person, okay, the dirty money get put into the bond to bond this person out. Okay, boom, now this person get out. I done heard about people getting killed right then and there. Like, soon as they come out, soon as they walk out of that place, being ambushed a week later, months later, a year later, like, and it's not even just in Chicago I heard about this from. And I was just like, wow. And the Most High revealed it to me. Let's bring it back. The money is cursed. Let's bring it back. The reason why that person was incarcerated was for life preservation. They were supposed to learn things throughout that journey of being locked up. Don't nobody want to be locked up. And if it's available for them to get out, they want to get out. And don't get me wrong, sometimes these people are being bonded out and it's not dirty money. And it's not dirty money. And that's another thing. The Most High wanted me to talk about this specifically because this is very, 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 very common. And so it was certain things that these people were supposed to learn while they were incarcerated. But they didn't take a chance to learn none of it. They just like, look, I'm trying to get out of here. Oh, it's a way for me to get out. Oh, I'm out of here. And they not knowing that, they think that they beating the system and doing all that. But in reality, they're walking into their own demise. They're walking into their own demise. It was something that they were supposed to learn. And the Most High allows it for a reason. He allows these things. He allows this for a reason. Because, okay, boom, this happened. Not only that, you're going to use cursed money because these people don't know these things. So they're going to try to cheat and beat the system or do whatever the case that it is. But in reality, they're leading themselves into this. The Most High, like, okay, you get in there. You done wickedness. You get in there. Not only that, you getting bailed out with wickedness, with unjust gain, you bailing out with that, or you just don't care. And guess what? People perish for the lack of knowledge. People perish for the lack of knowledge. And so it's not that the Most High is unjust. If anything, once again, jail is a form of life preservation or learning a lesson for some people. Many people. It's not that the Most High is unjust. It's because many don't know spiritually and they choose not to know. And it's no excuse. So y'all, this was a lot. This was a lot. And it was very like eye-opening to me when the Most High placed it on my heart to talk about this. Like this was real eye-opening to me. It really opened my eyes a lot, you know. Hope it opened your eyes as well. Get this out to someone. That's another thing. Can you get this message out? Share it to someone. I don't have no social media to put like to get it out here, and I just want this to get to the right people. I just need this to just get to the right people. Most of all, it's not even about me. It's about the Most High. The Most High needs this to get to whoever it needs to get to, and may it get to the people who it's for. Send this to your people and have an understanding and grasp the fact that this life is spiritual, and we aren't getting away with what we think we're getting away with. It's only a matter of time for this stuff to play out. So if you putting good out and it seems like you constantly getting bad or whatever, just know your day gonna come when that good gonna return back to you tenfold. If you out here doing wickedness and it ain't come swiftly, and the punishment and the judgment, all that ain't come swiftly, and it seems as if all is cool and all is well, just know it's a day and it's a time. You cannot beat this. Is spiritual. You cannot beat this. So yeah, y'all, again, jail is a form of life preservation. I will talk with you all soon. I'll